Sponsored gotcha streamer. Have you seen the Mega Victory Bell? The one that's just like a water balloon? Yeah. Yeah. It's just a circle. Think about Saga, Casey, placement as the protagonist in Alan's writing. I wonder if Alan was trying to write a Casey story was his attempt to wrangle the genre back into the thriller rather than horror. In Alan Wake 1, he mentions the Dark Presence changed the genre. It's the line about horror having only monsters and victims. Him meeting Saga helped him not only having to fight the Dark Presence about the genre, because Saga was very much a contemporary final girl thing going on. He gets to write the story in a way better protag than he could come up with himself. I think that's certainly possible. I think we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Both Casey and Saga really hate the idea that they're written by Alan. Not just their characters and therefore don't have agency, but they seem to resent Alan personally for being the writer. And I think that's great. Yeah. Yeah, Saga will come to resent Alan for his story changing things. But even before we get to that point, Casey is already fed up with Alan because he shares a name with a character from Alan's stories. I don't know if they're trying to pull the genre back. I think what Glaucus meant was that the original draft is horror, and the edits are trying to turn it into more of a thriller. And the whole case he investigated in New York, which was tied to Alan's stories. So that's a question. Do you think those cases in New York are real? Or is he just remembering that because of the story? Do you think there was really a murder cult in New York that that Casey busted? I'm kind of of two minds of it. You'll get away with me. From me, H.P. Lovecraft. I assume there are at least 3 murder cults in New York City at any given time. Yeah, fair. We ended at the end of a chapter where Saga pursued Nightingale into the overlap. Where she was able to defeat him, had a conversation with Alan Wake, and then discovered Alan Wake washed up on the beach. This author's all washed up. On the
Who are
beach.
you?
Hear me.
I'm Saga Anderson, FBI. I can hear you.
Cauldron Lake.
Yes, I'm at Cauldron Lake. Where are you?
How to escape. In danger. The dark presence.
Stranded.
Danger.
Death stranded. On the
Thanks.
beach.
Got it.
I will hold you and protect you.
Are you okay?
No! It's my fault! It got out with my face! Scratch!
Sir, calm down. I'm gonna need you to take a breath.
He's changed the story. The dark presence. We must stop it before...
Easy now. First things first. What's your name?
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. I've been...
Wake? Where did you come from?
I've always had a vivid
You've been
imagination.
missing for 13 years.
We did see the scene already. Don't worry about it. I figured we'd recap. My name is Alan Wake. 2.
Anderson, where did you go? All of a sudden, the radio stopped working, and then that flooding just disappeared. Crazy forest. Is this who I think it is?
Casey, say hello to Alan Wake. Mr. Wake, this is Special Agent Alex Casey. He'll escort you to our car. Casey, I'll meet you there, right after I take a look around.
Alan's
If
like
the flooding's
kidding
receded,
with
there
that
might be
name,
evidence
right?
we missed earlier.
Okay. See you there.
Alex Casey? How? Am I still... Is this the dark place? No, it can't be. I got out.
This lake is pissing me
the
off.
PI from
I'm the
your book
original
says the
Alan
same
Wake.
name as me. Great. Moving on. It's a bit of a hike to the car, Wake. Just get your bearings, then we'll head out.
I need another minute. Cauldron Lake. I thought I'd never see this place again.
Take your time. But you should know these woods aren't the safest.
Yeah. It's getting dark.
This is gonna become a dark place.
You have a flashlight? It's not safe without a light.
I have a light. And a gun. You can
Got a light.
relax, Wake.
And pages. If you see pages of writing anywhere, you must take them and keep them safe. Our lives could depend on it. They have vital information.
We know about the pages, Wake. We'll keep an eye out for them.
Okay. Okay, just give me a moment. It's okay.
Take your time.
Just let me settle down, man. I absolutely adore Let me talk about this real quick. Alex Casey, as a character, has a huge amount of resentment for Alan Wake for being presumptuous enough to think that, like, what he's upset by is that Alan wrote a series of
I'm
books.
getting flashbacks. Remember Ohio?
Sure. The North Side Slasher.
I don't know if I've
But
ever
that
heard
case
this.
was completely different.
The trees, Anderson. He hid the bodies in the forest.
Spoony? Oh my goodness. Hello, how are you? What were y'all playing tonight? I hope you had a good time. Oh goodness. Perfect timing. Yeah, welcome on in. We're playing some Alan Wake 2s. Which is just such a good game. Oh my god. Perfect time for a weird sound effect.
Why does Alan look like Johnny Knoxville running for school superintendent?
Is that what he... A little bit. The dark place will do things to you, man. It's funny, Sam Lake also sounds like a bad character in these games. Here's what I was going to say. I love that Alex Casey here is so resentful of Alan because Alan wrote a series of crime novels about a detective named Alex Casey, right? And then there were a series of movies based on those, right? But from like the audience's perspective, we're familiar with Alan's novels of Alex Casey, and then in this game they introduce a new character whose name is Alex Casey, and who's got the same face as Max Payne. I love this because it portrays Casey as being resentful of his own creator, which is made all the better by the fact that he's wearing the face of Sam Lake, this game's director and co-writer. And given that Alan is almost a self-insert for Sam Lake, it feels like the creation hates its creator. If that makes sense. It's great. Very meta. Hey Spoonie, what were you playing today? Max would hate Sam Lake. I was playing the Off Remaster. Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, but no Night Springs TV shows Euro 10 game. Basically unplayable.
There are episodes of Night Springs. They're just, playable instead. I hear some good things. I have played Off before, but I haven't gotten Off since it came out more recently, and I've never beat Off. I should rephrase that. No! 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 Heckin'. Okay.
Really, Bun? It's not even Lockheim in October.
Oh, that is coming up, isn't it? How long have you had that joke prepared? How long have you been waiting to use it? I was sitting on that one a little while ago. Hi, Cece.
Should look around. With the flooding
you're having a
gone,
good day.
could be further clues out there. The flooding disappeared very suddenly. I wonder if there's any connection to the overlap. To Nightingale.
First Cubs September, then Locktimber. Correct. I can't beat Off until next stream. Very sad. Aww. Well, I hope your next stream comes soon. This place looks swampy. It looks like it feels swampy. It looks damp. Anyway, welcome on in, Raiders. I'm Bun. Today we're doing a Bunalysis, where we play a game that I've played before, and we talk about it, criticize it, give it some analyses. because I think this game is super cool, and I just want to discuss it. All day. Oh dear. It's bucked up. Deserve that.
Even the animals are turning into monsters.
Any chance you could be talking about Mr. David Lynch also on occasion? Yes. Oh, yeah. I think this game was... I think it's important that this game came out after Twin Peaks: The Return, because there are quite a few similarities, not just in terms of like narrative, but also in visual style. The original Alan Wake had a lot of elements of Twin Peaks in it, and also obviously the writing of Stephen King. This game is a little more Twin Peaks: The Return, and like probably the first season of True Detective. I want everyone to know that Remedy did release a free knitting pattern for Saga's sweater. No way! That's adorable. Oh, that doesn't sound good. I had a tough time recommending that people play the first Alan Wake because, like, as much as I enjoy the story, as much as I think it's, like, worth talking about and thinking about, I don't think it plays very well. I think it's kind of dull to play through. I do not have that problem with this game. Quackle King, thank you for 40 months. Welcome back to the Court of Hearts, Your Majesty. Do you think there's a similarity between this game and The Darkness? I don't know. This game's not Italian enough.
Warning. Activity detected. AWE. Event in progress. Cauldron Lake. What's an AWE? Casey, what exactly does the FBC do?
That's a good question.
After New York, when I started looking for our friend here, their name came up. I pushed them for any files they had on him, but got stonewalled. They have a reputation of showing up for weird shit. They have a presence here, and now we find our writer. How about that?
Casey is such an Albert from Twin Peaks, and I love that for him. I think The Darkness 2 definitely has like Silent Hill, Alan Wake-ass elements. I never played the second one. I really should. They should remaster the Darkness games. What? I know, right? I played the first one. I didn't play the second one. I think there's more similarities between The Darkness and Death Stranding. Which is a weird thing to say. But I think both of those games have short scenes where you travel to an extra-dimensional space that's basically just trench warfare. Very strange.
Mr. Wake, we're taking you back to our field office in Bright Falls. You can freshen up there, and then we'll talk properly.
Hey, Mom. Before you say anything, I'm totally fine. Don't freak out. Dad shouldn't have even texted you.
Logan? No one texted me. What's going on?
I'm totally fine. I slipped, that's all. God, it's not the end of the world.
Put your father on the phone.
Okay. Dad, it's Mom.
Don't worry, hon. Logan slipped in the shower and bumped her head. She has a slight concussion, but I'm keeping an eye on her. Lucky I heard her fall. She could have drowned.
Jesus, David. Why didn't you call?
I tried. It didn't go through. She's fine, really.
Not a lot of reception in that extra dimensional
What about you?
space.
You sound stressed.
No, it's, just weird case, that's all.
Well, if you need a hint, my years of board game victories tell me Colonel Mustard did it.
I'll keep an eye out for him. Love you, Dave.
Love you too, honey. Want to say bye to Logan?
Just tell her I love her. Bye for now.
Hi, Auntie. How are you? Sounded like you were fighting a naked monster in an extra dimensional pocket. Some kind of dimensional overlap. Saga, you married a dork? Saga is a dork, look at her. I love the coffee thing.
Is there anyone you'd like us to reach out to, Mr. Wake? You've been gone a long time.
No. They'd be in danger. It'll come for me.
Okay, let's talk about something else. Robert Nightingale. Do you know him? You were both here in 2010.
The Dark Presence got him back then. That's the last time I saw him. 13 years. Oh, fuck me.
Tell us about the pages. You had what looks like a title page with you. Return. Is this the name of the story on these pages? The writer's name has been scratched out pretty violently, but your name can still be made out underneath.
Scratch.
Scratched out. Yeah. Scratch.
Yeah.
Did you write these pages, Mr. Wake?
I'm trying to remember. It's a crazy jumble, like a nightmare. It doesn't make sense.
Some kind of American nightmare. It's funny that he's wearing the flannel.
I remember.
Ati and the Janitors. My favorite band. Okay. Now, gotta talk about that loading screen there. Is a direct homage to Twin Peaks: The Return. Partially because there's scenes of The Return that involve like a swirling vortex that appears in the sky. But also because of episode 8 of The Return, which has that kind of sort of jumbled, jarring, flashing, kind of intense imagery. It's pretty clearly a kind of reference to that sort of thing. But also, I find it kind of fascinating that water is used to kind of communicate the difference between one world and another. It's sort of the portal or the doorway between them, in the way that a puddle can be a reflection. That there might be an entire world behind it. Yeah, a mirror of some kind. Sure. But also, like, I like this idea that water contains sort of the memory of the world. It's been on the earth through everything in different forms. I imagine that every bit of water on this planet has touched every part of land at one point or another here. Throughout millions of years. Dark mirror world delineated by themes of large bodies of water. Deltarune? Yeah, there's a lot of water has probably been part of Cauldron Lake. Yay! Notice how he touches his forehead when he wakes up? He'll do that every time.
Thank you. Welcome. We have a great show for you here tonight. Alan Wake is here. Alan Wake, one of my all-time favorite writers and guests on the show. He's here to talk about his latest book. Oh! And as usual, our house band, Old Gods of Asgard, is here. Take it away, you crazy Vikings!
Was I on a talk show tonight? Waking up in places with no memory of how I'd gotten there. It was out of control. I didn't need another mugshot in the fucking tabloids. Had I already done the show? Was that a recording?
Well, there's a Sam Lake, signed by Sam Lake. Ati, Alan Wake, and Warlin Door.
I felt a strange pull toward the TV.
Oh my god, it's the Old Gods of Asgard. It is! Odin, Thor, and Balder? I don't think he's been mentioned before yet. Swizgar. Welcomes to Mr. Doors. Play for Alan Wake. This show sucks. Okay, so I want to talk about Whirlindor for a second. Hey! So... Where do I start? So back in 2010, Alan Wake disappeared into Cauldron Lake. However, years before that, there was a man named Martin Hatch who was exposed to a great deal of Chronon energy. So much so that his consciousness was split between an infinite number of alternate dimensions and timelines. Come on, Bun, I need this lore. Okay, so... I don't think anyone named Martin Hatch has ever existed. So, in the game Quantum Break, there is a character named Martin Hatch, who is the primary antagonist of that game. Spoilers. After being exposed to Chronon energy, his consciousness was split between an infinite number of timelines and dimensions, and then pulled himself back into a single form that exists at all points in time and space, right? Becoming some kind of anomalous being, right? He Dr. Manhattan himself, exactly, yes. He was played by Lance Reddick, and I believe that Mr. Door in this game would also have been played by Lance Reddick if it weren't for his untimely death. I believe that was probably the first choice. Given that Sean Ashmore plays the main character in Quantum Break, and also Sheriff Tim Breaker in this game. Tim Breaker? Martin Hatch. If you turn the M in Martin upside down and you uncross the T, it says Warlin? Warlin Door? A door is a hatch? You get it.
Can we chart Sam Lake?
Yes, please. Yeah. This is in the text. I know this is right, but this is extreme red strings on a corkboard stuff. Martin Hatch and Warlin Door are the same person. This will be important.
Fun, are you just applying the inverse bops and Dugnut algorithm here or something?
He couldn't be Martin Hatch, though, because Quantum Break as an IP is owned by Microsoft. So, they can't use those names. Same reason they can't say Max Payne, because that's an IP that's owned by Rockstar. Or was. Martin Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Riddick passed away a couple months before Alan Wake 2 launched, so that probably wasn't the reason he wasn't cast. That might be. This seems so normal.
Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Alan Wake.
Oh!
Come on! Good to see you, Alan. Great to see you. Welcome back to the show. Come on, sit down. Woo! Oh, man. It is so good to see you, Alan. This must be an exciting time for you. Tell me, does it ever get old?
So does what get old?
I hear you have a new
Publishing
video
a
game
book.
coming out.
Are you okay there, my friend? You look like you've been cooped up in the writer's room for a few too many years.
This is exactly how I feel.
You know, I've waited so long to get my hands on the sequel to Departure. You left us on quite the cliffhanger. We've all been dying to know what "it's not a lake, it's an ocean" really means.
You and me both.
Well, our wait is over. Your new book, Initiation, hits the shelves tomorrow.
What?
That's exactly what every reader will be asking. This book is mind-bending. It's so cerebral. I mean, how would you describe it? An auto-fictional thought experiment? A horror story? A postmodern detective story?
Wait. This isn't right. I haven't written anything.
He's so humble.
Okay, you got me. Good prank, very funny.
How modest.
But yeah, sad to say, I've not written this. I'd remember if I'd written a book, right?
Or maybe it was written by your evil double. Well played, man. That is spot on. Playing the role here. Pretending the world of the book overlaps our own. That's very meta indeed. You see, Initiation tells the story of a fictional writer named Alan Wake, who is trapped in a nightmare, desperately trying to find the manuscript of a novel he has forgotten he has written. The book is set in New York, but it might not be New York at all. He is tormented by his dark doppelganger and guided by visions of a fictional detective he has written. That's right, Alex Casey is in this book as well.
Crossover of the century.
Keep doing this the whole show. The joke's on me.
But isn't that what you sign up for with autofiction? No, but seriously, I found the structure of the reality you build in the book fascinating. It reminded me of The Matrix. I mean, the writer is physically in his writer's room, trapped there, and he projects himself out to this dark dream of New York through the story he is writing. Like astral projection. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Go on. I should be taking notes here. This is great stuff.
Notes to that other Alan Wake in that room writing this as we speak? Are we all in your story, Alan? Wow. No, I wish you every success with your new book, Alan. I hope it's as successful as your best-selling Alex Casey series. Initiation hits the shelves tomorrow. After this, I'm sure we'll all be eagerly awaiting the culmination of this hero's journey trilogy of yours. A book called Return, perhaps. Man, thank you for one of the strangest interviews of my entire career, Alan. All this talk of meta-narratives. Half expecting to disappear once this scene ends.
Alan's just like, don't mind me, I'm gonna have about 3 or 4 nervous breakdowns while you keep talking.
Hello?
It'll be alright. It'll be fine. Lance Reddick would have been great. David Harwood is phenomenal. I agree. I think he's doing an awesome job with this. Yeah, also, yes, that was all live action. They do a really good job of mixing the live action elements and the, I feel like they've been getting better and better at it throughout, like, every game that Remedy makes. I love this game so much. I played most of the interview sections while running a decently high fever, and I think it enhanced the experience. There's something dreamlike, sort of nightmarish about it. That definitely, definitely would do that, yeah. I really... It's all advertising. Alan goes to Fortnite. Gosh. So, that interview is really interesting because I think from an outside perspective, especially from Alan's perspective, he thinks he's being toyed with, right? At first, there's like this little bit of disbelief, and then it's like, okay, I'll play along, the joke's on me, right? Not just the fact that he doesn't remember writing the book, but the fact that the interview is happening at all, right? I think that he's like dimly aware that he's still in the dark place. What's kind of fascinating to me, though, is you could almost read this as Mr. Dorr is also dropping hints. If Alan is in the process of writing Initiation during this interview, isn't Mr. Door kind of steering the story by dropping those ideas about, like, wandering around New York, astral projecting, his evil doppelganger, a book called Return? Mr. Door was not in the first game, although we have seen him before in this game, right when Tim Breaker disappeared from the morgue. How spoiler are we allowed to get? I am...
Something.
Spoilers are fine.
Not right here. I needed to get home. To Alice.
The last time Alan was on an interview might not have been the best memory for him. That was the one where, in Alan Wake 1...
What the hell was that interview? Some kind of joke? Initiation? I never wrote a book called Initiation. This felt like a bad dream. Could make a good horror story.
For some of us, this is how we'll be experiencing the story the first times. Please be gentle. Understandable. I think we can talk about some of the stuff later, but yeah. One reason Warlindor and Ati speak the way they do is to keep the Dark Place guessing, because it's hinted that it's conscious and listening to everything they say. That sounds right to me. The show is called In Between with Mr. Door. The door is not being subtle. A door between two rooms exists in both, does it not? Alright, I'm probably going to talk about this earlier than I intend, but I'll wait for now.
Old Gods of Asgard. That name sounded familiar.
665 Neighbor of the Beast is a reference to... Control. It's something that Dr. Casper Darling says. Dr. Casper Darling is played by, both in face and voice, the voice actor of Alan Wake. Also in Max Payne 1, the exact same joke. That's awesome. I don't know if you can see it on the fridge, but there is a sticker for a band called Poets of the Fall, which is the band that does the music for the Old Gods of Asgard. The actual band.
I was a mess. I'd never heard of this talk show or Mr. Door before. None of it felt right. Was I losing my mind?
My Interpretation of Many Worlds by Dr. Casper Darling. That's what Alan Wake's voice actor looks like.
Hey! I think I've been locked in! Anybody?
Fuck. Now I have to find the code myself.
Fuck.
Great.
I wonder what it is. Music video at the end of Control is so good. I really like the ashtray maze. Gosh, they released a DLC for Control that was like a procedurally generated, like, wave-based combat DLC. I think it was Foundation. Why was that not just more ashtray maze? They could have made the ashtray maze but randomized and fill it with enemies, you know? It would have been so fucking good.
There was something here. A broken transmission I couldn't quite make out. What was that?
Maybe
A
they'll put
message?
the ashtray maze into Foundation or
Impossible to say.
FBC Firebreak. God, that'd be good. Limu? Lime lemon? Ah, so fresh. What do we got here? Locos. Dairy cream. Barbecue beef flavored chips? I don't know about that. Maybe a carbonated soda. No brand.
And finish is basically soda.
Got the thirsties.
There was something in the studio with me.
That's probably nothing else.
I had to get out.
Fake brands are an art form? Absolutely. The only thing I like better than fake brands in a video game is fake video games in a video game. When you see, like, game boxes on a shelf or something. Oh, so good. Oh no.
This is the ritual to lead you on.
Ritual.
Waking up from the nightmare, I felt like a drowning man gasping for air. This place felt familiar. A ghost of a memory surfaced, about riding here for countless days.
Is that Barbara Jagger's house? Yes. This is the attic of the bird leg cabin from Alan Wake 1. And if you look out the window, I really like how it looks like you're looking out into the lake. It's just water out there. So good. One video essayist I really like commissioned a singer to put the entire "This is the ritual to lead you on" poem to music. That's awesome. Huh. This room looks so depressing, it's funny. Could you imagine Alan Wake being in this room for 13 years and then trying to produce something with creativity? Trying to produce art? I can excuse Alan's writing because of this.
A plot board for mapping out a story. On the index cards, the nightmare that just happened to me. A summary of the story so far. But other notes as well. Warnings. I had written them. I couldn't remember what it all meant. The name Scratch filled me with dread. I could trust these words. I had to act on them. It was right to escape.
I could trust these words, he says. Yeah, all my volumes all the way up. Okay. At the talk show, I had thought I was home in New York, but none of it had felt right. I was trapped in the dark place, a nightmare beyond our world. The writer's room was my safe haven. My writing affected what was outside. I was trying to write a story to escape this place. The story was called Initiation. With the story I wrote, I projected myself out to look for a way to escape.
I had to
tried
write
many
more.
times. Failed. This place made me forget. Everything Dora had said had felt true. Was that part of my writing or coming from somewhere else? Alan makes so many leaps of logic, it's incredible. It's a dream. It's dream logic, you know.
I didn't remember much, but I knew my thoughts and ideas could manifest as reality in this dark place. I'd use my writing to project myself out of this room, like a deep-sea diver to go deeper and explore the depths of this prison for a way out. This room was my boat. Writing was my lifeline. I would start again at the talk show.
Yeah, touch your forehead, Alan.
Thank you. Oh, you're too kind. Welcome back. We have a great show for you here tonight. We'll treat all you Alex Casey fans out there. Alex Casey himself is here tonight. That's right. Sam Lake, ladies and gentlemen. The actor who has given his face to the famous detective in the film series. And of course, we have Alan Wake here, the best-selling writer of the books, the films are based on. Let's do this!
Like a deep sea diver is probably a reference to the deep sea diving suit that Tom Zane appeared in the first game. Crackers. Salted only American chips. Plain caramels. Planet caramels. Breadsticks. The hard-boiled diet. Hard-boiled, not just eggs. Probably a reference to Casey himself being a hard-boiled detective as he is.
Camera spin when zooming out of Alan writing on his typewriter. I am sure it has nothing significant to it.
Probably not, yeah.
Welcome back to the show. So, Alan, as the creator of the character, how do you feel about this?
Sorry, what?
I know it can be an awkward question with the man sitting right next to you, but I mean, how do you feel
Hi,
about
Sam.
him in the role of Casey? Does he look the part to you?
He's doing the face.
He looks exactly like I always imagined Casey to be. It's uncanny.
Thank you. That means so much to me. I'm a huge fan of your books.
So, what's the problem, Alan? Because on more than one occasion, you voiced your reservations about the adaptations.
It's not that. They're their own thing. They've gone with choices that are different from mine. I feel protective about my stories, and these adaptations... I don't know. I guess I just wish I could have been more involved in making them.
Well, in that case, you won't have seen this either.
I just want to point out.
Thank you, Mr. Lake. I am fantastically finished.
I just want to point out there was a Max Payne movie and a Max Payne 3, and as far as I know, Sam Lake wasn't involved in either.
We have a clip from the new film, Murder Case Casey. Should we roll it, or do you want to say something first, Sam?
Nah, just roll it.
This city was an old scar that refused to heal. The rain made it fester. It needed the sun, but there was only the night. I was tired. Insomnia covered me like a plastic film. I was watching the world through a rain-slick window, my own reflection haunting the view. I was trying to track down a missing writer. My only clue was a table lamp, shaped like an angel. The only thing to shed light on this sordid mystery.
That's great. Murder case, Casey. Great job, Sam. Very exciting and very meta. I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Wait, stop. What was that about a writer? About a lamp?
You heard him, Alan. It was a preview. That last bit was actually funny. It was really funny. God, I love this game. So, I think we can try this door. Nope. Five, 6, 5. Got it. Fox! Good luck? Oh my goodness. I hope they pick you. You know that one joke about how everyone in Kingdom Hearts is either Sora or Xehanort? I feel like there's a lot of characters in Alan Wake that are just Sam Lake. Alex Casey is Sam Lake's face, played by an actor whose name is Sam Lake. Alan is a self-insert for Sam Lake. Scratch is an evil Alan Wake.
Hello?
Right, what you know, I guess? I guess. I love this poster, I want one on my wall. Look at it.
Ah, Lorraine, there you are, Tom. Oh, not so much evil that not a bit of good as well.
That's what they say.
Not one without the other. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't seem to find my way out of here. Can you point me to the exit?
No totta helvetissä. Of course, Tom. The work will instruct its maker. I was gonna get something from the basement for you, but you can get it yourself now. The more cooks, the worse the soup.
Ati, why do you call him Tom? Tom is also Sam Lake.
What do you want me to get from the basement? And my name's Alan, not Tom.
Ja, mutta katsoppa, a man, but a man with a tool makes two, Tom. Eikö niin? And a man with a tool can build his own exit. It's in a shoebox, in the basement where you left it. Safe as in the Lord's purse. Here's the key.
Thank you, Ati. But Tom is also James McCaffrey in Alan Wake 1, who is also Max Payne, who is also Sam Blake, who is also the voice of Alex Casey in this game.
Have we met before? Are you trapped in the dark place too?
You remember Ahti? The janitor. You can't be lost if you don't worry about where you are headed. So don't worry, Tom. The sun will shine even into a heap of twigs. Just remember to turn on the lights. It won't take long when you get to work.
Sure.
I've been trying to find a way to escape the dark place. Any suggestions?
He who mouths about his troubles is the prisoner of his troubles. It's not easy to get out. But don't you worry, Tom. The home is still there where the heart is. I often think about it when I mop the floor and look into the puddle. Water is the memory of the world. Water finds its way.
The janitor was a bit out there, but still a friendly face. I had to trust the basement would get me out of here.
I love Audi. He is specific type of old Finnish man. Pretty much everyone knows some point here in Finland.
That's so good. Yeah, Ati's a delight, and I'm so glad to see more of him in this game. I love the idea that there are Atis all over Finland. I think it would have been really easy to overuse Ati, especially given how popular he was with fans in Control. But I don't think this game does. I think it does a pretty good job of using him sparingly.
The talk show host?
Good evening. A writer trapped in a dream world attempts to write a story to shape reality around him and escape. He is beset by visions leaking in from realities beyond his own. He uses those visions as inspiration for his stories, in hopes of giving them power to make them come true. Us, hidden few, know that ultimately he will succeed. But before that, many of his stories collapse back into the stuff that dreams are made of, to remain as they began, works of fiction. And yet, maybe there is a gleam of truth to be unearthed from these tales. Rare glimpse into the unseen realities beyond our own, offering us intriguing avenues of contemplation as they transpire in
Night Springs.
Night Springs.
I do miss the Rod Serling imitator they used in Alan Wake 1's Night Springs episode, but Dora works too. I agree. Like, having a Rod Serling type character just makes sense. They have done a couple, like,
An old lamp in a shoebox. Was this what the janitor had left for me?
I feel like they've done reboots of stuff like Twilight Zone or Outer Limits or that sort of thing, where they've recast characters who are closer to Mr. Door as the host. I have not watched them.
The lamp felt significant. A tool for bringing light to the darkness.
A book called The
I felt
Third
a magnetic pull
Eye.
between the lamp and the light overhead.
Jordan Peele was the host for 2 seasons running 2019. That makes sense.
Whoa! When the light jumped into my lamp, the whole room changed. Like something in a dream. Opening a way forward. The lamp was humming. The bulb glowed. It held the light now.
So, that's an award, isn't it? seems similar to an award. Yeah. There's definitely something Oscar worthy about it, I suppose.
I felt another surge from the lamp. The glow in the lamp went out, shifting the light in the room. The light carved out something new from the darkness.
This door opens the opposite way. There we go. I understand the lamp from a puzzle-solving mechanic perspective. Like, you want your saga sections to have, like, the conspiracy board, you know, where you're putting things together and kind of mystery solving. And then you have your Alan sections. Your main gameplay mechanic is kind of this light and dark puzzle solving kind of thing. But it does also answer a question from Alan Wake 1, or at least gives us a little more information about it, which is, what was the clicker attached to? What was the clicker for? Because it's a severed wire on both ends, and now we have an answer to that. Because it was once attached to a lamp. It clicks when it's in the name. Does that make sense? I find both mechanics incredibly shallow from a gameplay perspective. Yeah, they're not strong enough to carry the game on its own. Which is why you've got both of them and the gunplay on top of it. Which
I needed to find another way out.
I don't think this game would work if it was just one or the other. The clicker is for good puppies. So true. If the lamp was what the clicker was attached to, then why did Cynthia Weaver have it? Cynthia received the clicker from Tom, right? And put it in that shoebox, which is also what we find the lamp in. There will be an explanation as to where this lamp came from. But it is an open question that I think is worth thinking about, but there's never going to be an answer to, is, did the clicker exist before Tom wrote about it? Or before Alan wrote about it? Did Alan write about Tom writing the clicker into existence? That's certainly possible. The clicker is a large part of Departure, the book in Alan Wake 1. And it seems to be quite a MacGuffin. It's entirely possible that Alan wrote wrote it into existence simply by making it part of the story, right? Did Tom write Alan or did Alan write Tom is probably the biggest question I have about this game, and only Sam knows the answer. And hopefully he will never tell. Because I don't think that's a question that should ever be answered. If the clicker was attached to this lamp, does the plug do something too? Yeah, it's European. So it's got those weird, like, kind of circular plugs. It's not like magical or anything. It's just weird.
The dark place wants to drown me. I'm losing myself. I have to fight it. I have to remember the clicker. The light switch. I lost it, but I have the lamp now. The lamp the switch was cut from. This place is a nightmare. Not real, and yet more real than anything. The danger and the horror are real. It feeds off my mind, twisting whatever it takes into psychotic reality. I'm trapped here. I write to escape. I've tried this many times, written countless stories, forgotten how many. I keep failing, but I must keep trying. I use the story to dive deeper. Every word I write is a step forward on this spiral into darkness. I dive to the bottom to find the answer, the map,
a spiral,
the key, the compass. It's combined to form a door leading out. But how do you open a door that's not a door? At the bottom of an ocean that's not an ocean, and a lake that's not a lake.
How do you open a door that's not a door? You don't need to. It's already ajar. Obviously. I deserve that. Hey, everybody. Musical guest Poe. Ah! I had never considered that objects of power could be cut up. Yeah. Or even written wholesale.
Don't see me anywhere. I'm right in front of you, I'm right here. On this winding road. What are you looking at? Is it your face on a pane of glass? 'Cause somehow this window becomes a trap. On this winding road. Will it ever let me go? Forever I am fading to black.
That's correct, isn't it?
Forever I am circling back, just to fall into this trap. This winding road.
What I do want an answer to is whether Tom is a film director or poet. That's a great question. Is Thomas Zane a film director or a poet? In Alan Wake 1, anybody who remembers him as a poet. He's got poems in that game. There are also poems written by Thomas Zane in this game. And in Control. In Control, you can find an audio log from one of Jesse Faden's psychiatry sessions, where Jesse remembers Thomas Zane as a poet, and even references one of his specific poems. Beyond the shadow you settle for is a miracle illuminated? Off the top of my head. But the psychiatrist is like, I looked up that poet you mentioned. All I could find is a film director by that name who made a movie called Tom the Poet. Mm-hmm. It's implied that para-utilitarians are resistant to story shifts. Yeah, somewhat. I can see that as an artist who sees themselves as one thing while being successful with something else. For sure, yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting way to look at it. I do like how much Alan Wake 1 felt like you were interacting with art as a viewer much more often. Like in Alan Wake 1, Alan is wandering around and picking up finished pages of a book and reading them, and that's kind of like your ongoing story thread. Already in this game, we spend more time with Alan in the writer's room and, like, backstage at the TV studio, in the places where, like, the work is being done to create the thing, more so than where you experience the final product. Because, like, it's sort of interesting that the television studio is a location, because that's not a place where you watch TV. It's not a place where you consume the art. It's a place where you make it. I think that's kind of interesting. Showbox. You escape that way, alright. I think that can also be a reflection of, like, what's writer's confidence.
The payphone was ringing. Somehow I knew the call was for me.
I think it's also part of what this game has to say about the ritual. We've heard a couple of times, this is the ritual to lead you on. And it feels very important to this story for characters to be performing certain, like, ritualistic actions, to be doing certain things in order to cause new things to happen. And I think there's a couple different ways you can look at that, because one of those is, like, the creation of art is something of a ritual in itself, right? The act of making the thing is part of the process of making art from something that's cognitive, something that's nothing but raw inspiration, into something that's physical in order to manifest it, right? There's a process to doing that. It doesn't just happen. What else was I gonna say? I lost it. I lost my thought. It's fine. But the other thing about the ritual, I think, is that when Alan is doing his writing, certain plot beats have to be justified. There's a way that you make a narrative, especially if you're telling a story. And that's a ritual in and of itself, right? Because there needs to be, like, setup, build up, payoff. There needs to be, like, you know, rising action, climax, falling action. Like, there's certain things that a story is going to require. There's certain threads and behaviors, and obviously, not every story. Like, you can definitely break that, especially if you're, I don't know, a Dadaist, or if you're doing stream of consciousness writing, or you're Virginia Woolf or something. Like, you can break that, obviously, but even so, there are still rituals that you perform in the art in order to wind up at the outcome. Hi, Nada. How are you? I think part of the first ritual that Saga does can be linked to a sort of inspiration or first steps into art. Gameplay-wise, it's part of a tutorial, of course, but I think there's a lot of people, when they start out, tend to make art that is the art they like, or, like, the artist they admire. So Saga's first ritual being some sort of hand-fed to her by the pages and being a reflection of the end of Alan Wake 1 makes sense to me that way. Yeah, I could see that. Also, if you're writing a sequel to Alan Wake 1, starting out with kind of the ending of Alan Wake, or if you're writing Alan Wake 2, starting out with the ending of Alan Wake 1 is not a bad place open, right? He couldn't write in Alan Wake shot the dark presence with a shotgun and walked out because it would break the entire structure of the story. Yeah. There's a ritual that needs to be completed here.
Yeah, I was thinking Alan's weakness as an artist that he is too rigid in his thinking when writing, which can limit his creativity.
For sure. Yeah. But that's kind of how Alan is. His writing's a little bit formulaic, a little bit heavy on the metaphors. That's kind of just his style. I don't know if he can break out of that very easily.
Hello?
Alan Wake?
Yes.
Do you know who I am?
No? Who is this?
We'll get to that later. There are spies all over. Shadows.
A sense of deja vu washed over me. Had I had this conversation before?
Alan, listen to me carefully. Caldera Street Station, the subway. You need to go there. I'll call you again later. Make sure to pick up.
Do I know you? I know you from somewhere.
You've just forgotten again. We're in this together. Don't worry. I got you now. We've been working great.
I'm losing you. Hello? Hello?
Oh, it's nice to have a friend, yeah. New York looks really scary. Imagine if it existed in real life. I know, imagine. Pass for the women loving women subway!
The man had said Caldera Street Station. I had to go there.
Sure. In between with Mr. Door, #1 in late night. So, here's the thing. These sections of the game, with Alan Wake here, involve a sad man whose wife is missing, returning to a town from his past, filled with manifestations of his inner guilt and turmoil, in a game where one of the primary themes is water and darkness. This game is my favorite Silent Hill 2. This game is my favorite Silent Hill 2. It's so good. Oh my god. It's got 2 in the name. It can't be a coincidence. It's not a town. It's a hill. Okay. I really appreciate the work they did making... Oh, it's kind of foggy. You know, it's not like as foggy as Silent Hill, but it's pretty foggy. I really appreciate the work they did making this version of New York feel like it's made out of Alan's writing. Here's a couple of instances of that. I like Night Owl News. We have Hard Boiled Newspaper. Wake Up, New York. All of the posters are Night Springs and Casey novels, all of which Alan wrote. Ocean View Hotel.
Best Silent Hill remake ever.
New York's Crossroads. The Ocean View Motel is a location that's mentioned in Control. And I want you to remember the idea of Crossroads, please. Especially right across from the Mr. Doors Theater. They've shortened Oh Dear to OD, which is... Don't write you lost her. Poets Cinema. Yeah, which is referring to Tom Zane. Murderer stalks shadows. Murder cult rumors spread. Also, a hard-boiled detective is quite likely to OD. I could see that. There's no closing the door on past sins. See, I hate when Silent Hill does it.
The Caldera Street station sign.
But I'm okay when Alan Wake
the
reaps
entrance was
what you
missing.
sow. I'm alright with that. That's
appear.
fine.
Maybe I could use the lamp to reveal the station entrance.
It's okay when you do it, Alan. I just hate when Silent Hill does it. There's a billboard that says, "Everything I touch dies." Jeez. Alright. We're trying to get to Caldera Street Station. We've heard Caldera Street subway station mentioned in this game earlier. When Saga was going through the overlap, she saw images of a subway and the name Caldera Street Station. A caldera, I'm sure you probably know, is a very, very, very deep lake, which is caused by old volcanic activity. Cauldron Lake is a
The
caldera.
lamp was dead in my hand. I needed to find a light for it.
So, yeah. Not a peak. It's a volcano. Caldera sounds a bit like Cauldron, doesn't it? Oh, wow, it does. Yeah. That's intense. It's when a volcano's peak collapses inward and allows water to collect at the top. Yeah! And they're usually ridiculously deep. Because they go all the way down into, heckin'... What are those volcanic tunnels called? Heck, there's a name for these things. Flume? I don't think it's a flume. Magma tubes! That's correct. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah! Yeah, they're hollow tubes created by latent volcanic activity. Neighborhood illumination. Nice. Volcanoes are just a series of tubes, actually. The City Choice. Books.
I write. Writing is the key. Art is the key to find my way out of the dark place. I can't forget this. Don't you fucking forget this. I'm in my dark place. I'm outside time and space. Outside reality. But this is real. A nightmare dimension. An ocean of darkness. Remember, its dark energy can make art come true. Make dreams and nightmares come true. Yes, I can use this. I need to use this. Hungry, monstrous things out there, wanting to stop me, to devour me, become me. Oh
So I don't know if this is true. I don't think temporality exists within the dark place. Time moves differently here. However, I think that footage we just saw is from when Alan was trying to escape the dark place by writing Return in Alan Wake's American Nightmare. And I only say that because he's wearing the flannel. Which he doesn't later, so... I don't... it could be. I mean, it's not, like, important, but, you know, it's my interpretation. Huh, what does AWE mean? Aww! Rudy even get new clothes? I guess write them?
Is this the way it was on the page?
What the hell?
Sam Lake?
Oh, hey. We met at Door's show.
Alan Wake, the writer. I'm Alex Casey.
Wearing Max Payne's tie and jacket.
Come on, what is this?
There's a piece of evidence, a manuscript of a novel. You wouldn't know anything about it?
A manuscript? What manuscript? I need to see it.
Rumor had it the manuscript contained the details of the murders. A murder cult was following the story to commit their gruesome acts. Was Wake their leader? Had he written it? How far would he go to create a perfect work of art? Or would he be the next victim? Stay here.
No, wait! I need a gun!
No chance.
Alright. Damn it. Please remember Alan saying, "Wait, I need a gun," and Casey saying, "No chance." Please remember that for later. I'm gonna bring it up again. We're putting a pin in it.
I remember dying in this alley in a dream I had. He was just gonna keep killing me here, loop by loop.
This will be on the test.
You're not gonna get what you want. You think you know. You know shit. You don't really want to know. You're gonna get what's coming to you.
Is he okay? I don't think he's gonna make it.
This was an echo of the books I had written for years. Picking up Casey's gun felt like I was assuming the role of the detective.
Uh-huh. And all that spaghetti sauce you spilled.
2 days from retirement.
That's rough, buddy.
I had a light now. I needed to get back to the subway station
Got a
entrance.
light. Alright. This is the symbol here of the Cult of the Word. We're familiar with the Cult of the Tree from earlier, whose symbol was a tree made out of 2 upward-facing triangles. This one is a W made by 2 downward-facing downward-facing triangles. W for the word? W for wake, perhaps?
There was something hidden here, a phrase repeated over and over. The words resonated with meaning. Had I written this?
It also kind of looks like the mountains upside down, like the reflection of the mountains in Mirror Lake, or the reflections of Mirror Peak
With the alley in
in
darkness
Cauldron Lake.
now, restless shadows block my way.
So, here's an open question for you, because I've got an interpretation here, but I want to know what y'all think. In Alan Wake 1, what are the Taken? Why do the Taken behave the way that they do? We had a couple of theories, because we were thinking, well, a lot of what they do is they speak in, like, fragments of advertising, of little bits of writing you might find, like, on a website or a billboard, or something like that, right? They talk about cabins for rent and hot dog contests. There's a sort of a corporatization about it, and it's one of the reasons that I went into Alan Wake 1 with the idea that they're using the dark presence as sort of a metaphor for capital, and that perhaps it's one thing it's grabbing onto is bits of throwaway writing and making characters out of it, or possibly...
My god, the Taken were Spampton all along.
Possibly, yeah. Or maybe they were just characters that Alan wrote into the story that were too two-dimensional, that they didn't have much going on besides one or two, like, token lines of dialogue. And the Dark Presence kind of took that and ran with it, right? The shadows in New York in this game, I don't think are Taken. I think they're different. I think they're something else. And, moreover, I don't think they're part of Alan's art. And we'll get into it later. But I do want to ask the question, what are the Taken in Saga's story? And what are these shadows in Alan's story? And how do they work, and where do they come from? Presence to this point cannot create. It can only overwrite and change things. And it does so in a very heavy-handed way. It seems to be the case, yeah.
Oh, fuck! Faded out. Until they didn't. They were trying to stop me. With the gun and flashlight, I could fight back.
Mr. Scratch. New York City has to be like the Dark Presence's favorite city on the planet, right?
I could use
Top
the light
3.
to open the subway entrance now.
Probably, yeah. Maybe LA. We're never out of your way. Rob Husky, how are you? Great to see you. Caldera Street Station, AW. Alan Wake? Or is there supposed to be an E at the end of that? Doing good, how about you? I'm doing great.
I needed to find another light to go deeper inside.
Shadows on the wall. Isn't Cauldron Lake supposed to be a caldera? It is a caldera, yeah.
I think the shadows in Alan's story are probably aspect of Alan's self-doubt and self-criticism that prevents Alan from creating stories.
That's an interpretation. Yeah. It's my take that they might be a result of somebody else's art. But, like I said, we'll get there. Who is Alan Wake's pizza? Who is Alan Wake's pizza? Alice is his pizza? No. Alice is just like, she's too much of, like, an objective good. Like, she's his goal, obviously, but she's not, like, making him worse. In fact, Alice makes him better a lot of the time. The thing about the pizza is it has to be both desirable and the worst thing for you. I'm going with Barry. Again! Barry tends to make Alan better, not worse. It might be his writing. Barry's like the goodest boy.
Hello. Oh. Hey, Alan.
Sean Ashmore? Television's Sean Ashmore?
Sorry. Have we met?
Memory problems again, huh? Yeah, we've met. Tim Breaker. We've shared notes. Hey, I made some progress on the map if you want to take a look. I still haven't found my mystery man, though.
Who's the mystery man?
Who's this mystery man?
Oh, it wouldn't be much of a mystery if I knew. All I have is a name. Warland Dorr.
The talk show host?
No, that doesn't sound like him. The guy has many disguises, but a talk show host? No. I'll keep looking.
I saw him in a video game once. Oh man,
You're making
me too.
a map.
Trying to. It's hard to map a dream, though. I keep ending up in unexpected places. I find interesting things like those strange markings that react to the light, but never the one thing that I'm looking for. Feel free to check the map out. Oh, I've been stockpiling supplies while I poke around. If you find a stash, take anything you need.
I appreciate the help.
Wait, no, the pizza is Fame? The pizza might be Fame. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that's my crazy wall. I'm just trying to make sense of things. Don't judge me.
I'll trade you walls any day.
I love his crazy wall, though. I was at the morgue. I was about to give evidence to the FBI. Dorr transported me here to this dream reality. Why? We did see, like, that flash of Dorr right when Tim disappears, which sets this up quite a bit. Missing time, no memory. Until now. Have I always ended up here? Will I forget when I get home? Abducted? Aliens? Dorr? UFO? Polyhedrons. Dreams. Me, but not me. Others I know, yet they're different. The red-headed woman? I know a woman with red hair. Her name is Jessie Faden.
See you around, Alan.
Black Widow, obviously. The Alan Wake cinematic universe. Diversity win. These hedrons are poly. Yeah, these shadows don't spout advertising slogans and bits of writing. They're saying wake. Wouldn't say the thing because it said launched on the screen. I'll talk about it later. I'll talk about it later. Plenty of opportunities. Yeah, go upstairs, end up on street level. Of course. There's initiation and return. Worst Casey. Ironically, that's the best film. I tried to influence a raid. Aww. Well, I appreciate it. How are you, Buzzer? I never understood these smokestacks. Like, obviously you put them on the ground so that the smoke comes out the top so that, like, it doesn't obscure visibility at the ground level where cars are going to be driving, right? But, like, why you steaming out all the sewer gas? I don't know. I'm sure there's probably a reason. What was the worst Alex Casey adaptation, you think? I think people go to bat for Cold Case Casey, but I think Final Casey was a bit of a letdown. I think that might be the worst.
Fuck me.
Oh shit, it's the fuzz. Let's get out of here. Cheese it. Goddamn 5-0. Cult of the word, cult of the word. Okay. So, you know how I said I really like that this version of New York really feels like it's made out of Alan's writing? Part of that is obviously because of all the graffiti that says, like, find Alice, don't write, and things like that, right? But I find it much more interesting when they give us stuff like, stop writing, Wake.
The gates to the platform were closed. I had a ticket.
You may not be the only you out there. This subway line map? Do you want to go to Brooklyn? Or Manhattan? Or the Bronx, the Bronx, the Bronx, the Bronx, the Bronx?
I couldn't force it open.
The map is the coolest.
Something about the station platform felt significant. It would work in my writing, but I needed more.
Following a typical nightmare pattern, it was late. I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination. This is an opening monologue from the crash in Alan Wake 1. Looper Express to Mirror Heights. Late nights, you end here. Dark Avenue.
Something lingered here. A half-forgotten memory. An echo.
I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards. So yes, it began with a dream. I understood what I had to do now. I knew how to write the ending to Departure.
A vision about to reveal itself.
There is light and there is darkness.
I needed to look at it from the right angle.
There's guilt and there's atonement, but the scales always need to balance. Everything has a price. There's a long journey through the night back to the light. It's not a lake. It's an ocean. That kind of stuff, when it's printed on, like, what's clearly, like, incidental warnings and posters in the environment, is so good. I love it.
An FBI agent had come here before me on the trail of a murder cult. He'd gone missing, presumed dead. The cult was leaving me clues to follow, connecting the dots from one murder to the next, inviting me to draw an obscene picture on the city map. Caldera Street Station.
That happened to me at the end of The Looker.
Made me think of the exit wound of a bullet.
I had a flash of inspiration. The ghost of my fictional detective. A story thread I could use in my writing.
Spoilers for The Looker, by the way. You think you're God? You think you could just make stuff up? You think you can play with people's lives and kill them when you think it adds to the drama? You're in this story now and I'll make you suffer. Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story, certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer. I had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple more hours to get to the coal mine. This sort of stuff is really good. You wouldn't write a book? Oh. So the first shadow says to us? I think I remember what the first shadow says to us. And we're gonna see it later. Alice. Huh. Hey, have y'all seen the movie Looper? Have y'all seen Looper? Not Jumper. Looper. It's a different movie.
I had a location. I had a story thread. I would put them together, write them into my story to...
Wait, the sign on the pillar? Which one? I gotta go to my mind palace. They caught him. The blood trail led to the darkness of the tunnel.
Things clicked into place. The story rang true. I was making progress. The dark place reacted to my story. The way into the tunnels was no longer blocked.
White with blue on top. I'll try to find it. Here's what he says. It's not like your stories are any good. Not like they have any artistic merit. You're a lousy writer. Cheap thrills and pretentious shit. That's all you're good for. Just look at me. Look at your work. This is still so good. Oh my god. Fucking passive-aggressive poster. That's not passive at all! It's just aggressive! Alan sees himself reflected in his work and finds himself lacking. I'm positive. Any one of us who has ever made art before has looked at our own art and gone, this makes me hate myself. You know, it's not true, obviously. But like, you know, it's a feeling that I feel like every artist has had. All of his intrusive thoughts are manifesting to tell him what a shit writer he is. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's a world made out of your intrusive self-criticism. It's awful.
The tracks led into the tunnel. That was my way forward.
In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest. Just like in ABC's hit sci-fi drama Lost. Oh man, that show's... Oh, hey, speaking of... Hey! Ow.
The blood trail continued deeper into darkness.
Alan Wake.
Darkness. I missed that Nightingale's overlap had the FBI agent who got in too deep. It does, yeah. You will actually notice that all of Alan's stories involve a murder, and all of the people who were murdered will show up in Saga's story. It's something that connects the two of them.
Shit. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah. I made something a while ago for a friend who had a babbo. I felt hot garbage about it, but they loved it. Even later told me so unprompted. Aww. That's the thing, is like that voice of self-doubt in your own head, it's not true. Like, it's probably okay to feel that way. Like, I think everybody at some point or another looks upon their own creation and goes, it's shit. But like, it's important to understand that those are feelings that aren't true.
The tunnels were a maze. The blood trail led me on.
This is the blood trail to lead you on. Like, it's okay to feel things that aren't true. That's okay. But, like, do understand that.
Another place to use in this story. I needed to search the tunnels for further visions. Inspiration for the story that would lead me deeper.
with you all the way. Yeah, yeah. Like, I have a certain sense of self-criticism as well. Like, I feel really down on myself, like, especially after a stream, especially after a Bunalysis, where I'm like, well, at least I talked the whole time. But I'm like, I don't know. Is the stuff I said interesting? Is it valuable? Did anybody either enjoy it or learn something from it? Like, there's all these things that I have this sense of self-criticism. But also, I know that there are other people out there who are like, oh, I liked your video. And I'm like, I will take your word for it, because I think that, I don't think you're lying to me, right? I have to take your word for it because I think that you do feel that way. Even though I feel a different way, but neither of these are invalid, you know.
I had a new idea for a scene.
Key location. What happens here? Doorway to the underworld.
I changed the story. And with that, the dark place changed. The federal agent had come here looking for answers.
Aww.
All he found was a fate worse than death.
You'll agree.
It's bad luck to be on this case. The cult can get you anywhere with that black magic shit. Let the day shift handle it. What happened, anyway?
Some Fed came looking for the cult, but it was a trap. A satanic blood sacrifice.
Anyone who gets involved with the cult, they're next. I heard their leader is this famous writer, Alan Wake. Their unholy motherfucking messiah.
Sounds like a load of bull.
Hey, those are familiar voices. The New York City Police Department in this scene will be played by Mulligan and Thornton from the Bright Falls Sheriff's Station. Welcome our guest stars. I hate my art. I picked up Blender and I constantly see how crappy my models are, but I have to remember that I'm still an amateur and I get better as I keep doing it. Here's the thing. Art is a continual process. No artist is ever going to reach a point where they say, my style's done. Or my art is, I'm as... Sometimes there's a feeling I'm never going to get better at art, but nobody's ever like, oh yeah, I'm the best at art. I can stop getting better now. Nobody ever reaches a point where they stop self-improvement. The thing about art is that producing it is always a process of self-improvement. That's why it's important to do. But also, to bring it back to Alan Wake, this is the ritual to lead you on. The process of creating art is the thing that drives us forward, right? Not necessarily the finished product. I discovered early that the actress that played Agent 3 in the Journeyman Project games played Ma Kent in the Superman show that ended last year. No way! Huh. My art is perfect is a shit-ass thing that DW says from fucking Arthur. If somebody says my art is the best, my art is perfect, they are 100% just an AI prompt writer. That's who says that shit. They're like, oh yeah, my art's the best. I'm totally satisfied with all 6 fingers on this hand. The fact that the lighting doesn't make sense. The fact that the back of the hair is merging into the background. They're just like, nah, it's perfect. Look at how amazing it is. If you're not criticizing your own art, you don't have the talent to recognize how to improve. How about that? How about if that's a way to put it? You have to have a certain amount of talent to recognize where you have room for improvement.
My jaar is perfect. How dare you criticize me? David Cage. How dare?
Thank you, David Cage. He probably does think that.
AI brothers, like all other fascists, have no real artistic sense.
So true. So true. Oh, right, this door's open now. Okay, anyway. That's what I had to say about AI art.
Another echo lingered here. A source of inspiration.
Word is, your research can help me, ma'am. What do you know?
There's more than one urban legend about the cult of the Word.
Hey!
The Murder Cult used these tunnels for their ritual sacrifices. They say the cult reenacted the murders in Alan Wake's crime books. That Wake was even involved somehow, under a false identity. Mr. Scratch, which is, of course, a nickname for the devil himself.
It was disturbing finding myself in the story this way. But I was desperate, and it felt right for the story.
Hey, our, no, not Saga. Our, the researcher in this scene is played by, that true crime writer? Who found the necklace? Yeah, one of the bookers. Tammy, that's her name, thank you. Tammy Booker. Also bookers, I know, right? Hey, question. I didn't question this when I first played the game. It took me a couple of playthroughs to think about this. But, okay, all these scenes are being written by Alan Wake, right? He's, like, getting inspiration for a scene and then writing it down and kind of constructing this Alex Casey mystery that he's following along, right? So the idea of the book that he's writing, this one I think is Initiation, is Alan Wake is a character who's pursuing Alex Casey, a fictional detective, who is on the case of a murder cult, right? Is the way that I think Mr. Dorr put it. But here's my question. How does Alan Wake know the bookers? Like, Mulligan and Thornton he would have heard over the radio, but there's no way he knows who the bookers are. And there will be other characters as well, who appear in Saga's story and then appear here in the Dark Place. But there's no way that Alan knows who those people are, or would know to put them in the story. So either he's writing them into the story here, and then they're appearing in real life, which I don't think is the case. Or he's getting their images from real life, maybe through Saga in the overlap, that then he's putting into the story, which, again, I don't think that's true either. What I do think is happening here is Alan is writing characters in as tropes, archetypes. He's giving us, these are the kind of bumbling New York City police officers. And then we as the audience, our brain is filling in that archetype with these characters that we met recently, right? Oh, a researcher on the trail of Alan Wake? We saw one of those earlier in the diner. It's a little bit like the the Colonel in at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, when they reveal that he doesn't look like Colonel Campbell, he only looks like that because the audience expects the military colonel in a Metal Gear Solid game to look and talk like that, you know? Yeah, it's our imagination filling in the gaps, but like us as a viewer. This isn't necessarily what Alan's seeing, I don't think. But, you know, that's just my impression. It could be that, or, here's another option. The Dark Presence itself is the one who's making all of his writing real. So the Dark Presence is looking for people outside of the lake and near the town of Bright Falls that it can borrow the image of for the story. You know, it's the dark place itself that's borrowing those images to play those characters. That's certainly a possibility too. I think it's purposefully vague though.
The water was gone. The way forward was open.
Shrine Street. Here we go. At the oil derrick, the wheel had been jammed in place and turned until the oil gurgled and flowed, thick and flammable. The warning lights were blinking in a fast rhythm, bright and steady, powered by the battery. The Kasabian CD was playing in the boombox, all distorted guitars and intense beat. High above, some piece of orbital junk or another collided with the satellite, knocking it radically off course. That's from American Nightmare. American Nightmare mention. Let's go. Deputy Mulligan tuned Thornton's chatter out. He didn't think writers were particularly useful people, and a huge manhunt for one struck him as idiotic. Certainly not worth the missed opportunity for coffee and pie. Certainly wasn't even clear what the man had done except run from them at the trailer park. Mulligan knew he wasn't alone. The sheriff's patience with the Fed was running out. That's Mulligan and Thornton in Alan Wake 1. Gotta love time loops. Brother, may I have some loops?
Hey, Alan. Tim Breaker, in case you don't remember again.
I know, Tim. I'm remembering more now.
It's good to hear, man.
How's your search for Mr. Dorr going?
It's not great. This dream we're in.
I love
putting a lot
Time
of roadblocks
Breaker.
in my way.
Part of making art is making yourself emotionally vulnerable, and the darkness requires he make himself so vulnerable he has to put himself in his own story, exposing himself to the danger and also savaging himself in his own text. I agree with that. Here's something that I find even more interesting. And this is going to be the case. Okay, so we're doing Alan Wake's second chapter right now. And I think there's 6 of them. So there's going to be a series of murder cases, all of them revolving around this particular cult. Alan, how do I put this? So Alan wrote himself in as the villain. Alan, sometimes going by Mr. Scratch, is the leader of the cult, supposedly, right? He's writing a story where he's the bad guy. If Alan is the cult leader, then the cultists are his fans? It seems like it, yeah. But also, like, in a sense, he kind of is the leader of the cult, right? Because he's writing them. If he's writing about their exploits, he's directing them to act, he's created their crimes, and he's created the cult itself. I would call that a leader. Sure. Ties in with his egocentrism, because it's his cult with his fans. Yeah. What person would be easier for him to beat than himself? That's not a bad thought.
So you think this is a dream?
I'm not ruling it out. You know, my dreams have always been incredibly vivid.
Me too. I'm a lucid dreamer.
They feel real until the second I wake up. In the dreams, I'm often someone else. A different person with a different name, living a different life in a different world. It's alternate realities, maybe.
Yeah.
But certain things don't change. Like Door.
Except the one time he was called Hatch.
The sketch you have does look like the Door I know. The talk show host.
All I know is the Door has something to do with what's happening to me.
He's quantum looping. He's quantum breaking.
That I know. He's like some sadistic mastermind torturing me.
Scratch could be the unintended effects of his work and the public persona it created, separate from the real Alan. Can't help what other people take from his stories and their image of who he is. Which I think... That's definitely the type of thing that I talked about when we played the first game. Because it definitely seemed like talking about Alan as a character versus Alan the writer is the creation of like that public persona, the same way that like Sam Lake created a name and a character for himself after like the Max Payne games became kind of big. And because most people who played Max Payne going into Alan Wake saw him as literally the face of Max Payne, right? Their interaction with Sam Lake as a person is him doing that hard-boiled detective grimace that he just did on the talk show, right? That's the public character. It's interesting. His whole thing is to get himself out via a story. It would make sense to put himself as the antagonist instead of the hero, just for that reason. Yeah, I mean, he's his own worst enemy in so many ways. Sam Lake isn't even his real name. It's not. It's kind of a translation, but, yeah. It's not. He does love doing the face, he wouldn't do it otherwise. I do believe that. I definitely believe that. Just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air, and let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Pat Maine? Cynthia Weaver name drop? I saw it.
Wake.
Initiation.
Wake.
So talking about rituals again, one of the reasons that Alan could not escape the dark place in American Nightmare is because he wrote Departure in order to get Alice out. And then he went to Return. He was like, okay, Departure, then Return. I'm just going to write myself back. The story don't work that way. departure and return are two parts of the hero's journey. The first part and the last part. And there's a whole section in the middle that's missing, called the initiation. You can't just write the beginning and the end of the story. Sure I can.
The memory is fading like a dream. I must hold on to it. I remember an awful beacon in the darkness, the scene of a ritualistic murder site in the subway tunnels. Is it a previous draft of my writing? Must be. I've been trying to shape the dark place around me, but so much fades away. Even my memory of the process, washed away by dark waves. But some things remain. The darkest, nastiest elements, like the murder site. It's my goal, a stepping stone to travel deeper to escape. Write a narrative that takes me there. Casey will lead me to it.
I think it's interesting that in Saga's segments, is this a real Alan on the TV? From different points in time, I believe so, yeah. Or is he already out of the lake? So... that's a good question. I'm glad you're thinking about that. At this point in the story, he is out of the lake having a conversation with Saga and Casey, and he says, I remember what happened, and then it dove into the water, right? And now we're living through what we assume to be a flashback.
The train blocked my way forward, but it was here for a reason. It had a role to play.
This is a type of role-playing train.
I had a new beat for the story.
Missing FBI agent.
Hello? Anyone there?
Dead.
So, very blink and you'll miss it, but the voice on the radio was Agent Estevez, who is a character that has not appeared in the game yet. She'll show up later. Foreshadowing is a literary device.
The story thread felt right here.
Alan Wake.
Whoa. Stop using projectiles.
The cult poured the gasoline over the train car. An iron cage that would soon become a coffin.
Why'd you say it like that? Do you think Alan narrated his own audiobooks? Oh, probably.
Come on, ma'am.
This is where the history of the cult gets genuinely disturbing. The cultists tracked down the torchbearers living in the tunnels. They locked the poor folks up in a derailed subway car, doused it in gasoline. Yeah.
Charming.
It turns into a bit of a ghost story after that. They say the dark smoke from the fire still roams the tunnels searching for new victims to devour.
There are no happy endings in this city.
The story thread felt important. I could use it in one of the scenes I'd found.
This gets a little gruesome.
This new plot beat would carry me deeper into the story. A sick and twisted story. But it worked.
If you got a problem seeing cadavers,
I could get through it now.
I'd maybe look away for a minute. It looks like it smells pretty bad in here. Gross.
None of this was real. It was all real. Fuck me.
Spoopy. Casually just writing the death of a bunch of people to make a path. It wouldn't be the first time. There are characters in this game who are mad at Alan for writing them into the story just to progress the plot. So that he can escape, right? I also remember Spec Ops The Line. Ugh, white phosphorus, fuck. What a good game. Why'd you dump out all the bullets? You only used one. Silly. Alan doesn't know how to use a gun. New York is always changing. It will change you too. Cool.
Wake.
Very, very cool.
Wake.
It doesn't look like I can get out here. Y'all enjoy whatever it is you're doing.
It'd be really funny if the message behind that board just said, "Huh? Made you shoot."
That would be kind of funny.
My path was blocked. I had to find a way through. The lights would help me.
Dear. And a fawn.
It's called the Metropolitan Trans Authority for a reason. Get on it. Trans yourself today.
CL. Trans me now. I think the clicker was an object of power, or did Alan make it one? I think that's an open question. Hey! Notice how the deer and the fawn are going now? So, who do we know in this story that is related to deer? And who has a kid? Hmm. Who isn't related to deer in this? I think it's pretty specific. She's got one in her, like the antlers in her, the deer head in her, heckin' mine place. There's a deer on her sweater. I mean, to be fair, there's also Deerfest. So... Bright Falls is pretty deer heavy, but I think Saga in particular. Her Thinkhole, yeah. You can see this character here is actually a reference to the Raincoat Killer from Deadly Premonition. You can see it's wearing like the hood and the raincoat and carrying an axe. Yeah. It's just another one of those literary references that I think people...
It's a regular old Deerfest in Bright Falls.
That's not true. I'm spreading misinformation. Hey, there's a fawn. But no deer. Oh dear. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's a story happening here. Is it Bambi? Kinda, yeah. It definitely seems like it. That's upsetting. That is upsetting to me. I don't like that. Foreshadowing is a literary device. Does it say Night Springs Avenue? It does. Especially since there's shadows on the wall.
Wake. I'm lost in the dark. Wake. I've written so much.
Mm-hmm.
Wake. There's nothing left. Oh, no. Alan, wake. Get out of my story.
Alan, wake. Yeah, not like advertising slogans. A lot of what they're saying is just related to Alan.
The echoing hall had a story to tell. I had found another compelling location to use.
During this first case, I think I'm gonna see what all the environments look like in all of their different forms. Or at least... Oh, yeah, this is the last one, so I think I'll do that. But hey, if you play this game for yourself, I highly recommend trying out all the different versions of every scene, because some of them are interesting. And kind of different. Torchbearers, like a Lightbringer? Torchbearers were the group that Cynthia Weaver was with in Alan Wake 1 that left those caches and glowing paint around. But also, yes, like a Lightbringer, like a champion of light.
The hole had changed into the murder cult's hideout.
Like a Lucifer? Like a Mr. Scratch, sure. The Sudden Stop, an Alex Casey thriller.
The cultists were close now, a dark presence rising from the depths.
The writer, not of the last the shadow cast third eye, project the night. This is your time. The first word, not the last. Not the writer, the light, the shadow. To write, to lead. Your friends will meet him when you're gone. Interestingly, that's not a piece of Wake's writing. They have scratched out Wake's writing to create one of Zane's poems, or at least snippets of it.
Alan Wake.
The Fed had witnessed something here that made him run scared. Whether the summoning ritual had been a bona fide supernatural event or the mass psychosis of stark raving lunatics, it didn't change the facts. The cult was messing with things no one should mess with.
The ritual was a
The
vital
writing of
part
Alan
the
Wake.
story, the key to reaching the murder site. I had a new idea, a new story thread.
The cult practiced their rituals.
This thread would create something terrible in the city, but it's what the story needed.
Creepy. Again, cutting out pieces of other people's work to stitch together their own. Kind of similar to what the Dark Presence winds up doing. I'm just gonna ride. It's probably fine, right?
This isn't your story.
This isn't your story. I don't know if I'm going to wind up using any of these collectibles.
Turns out the cultists weren't the only ones using the tunnels. Hidden graffiti signs marked secret routes. I kept hearing whispers around burn barrels of an underground society of mystic outsiders with hidden knowledge.
What is this, Indigo Prophecy?
Typical New York.
Do you think the Dark Presence has a good reads? No, a bad reads. A terrible reads. Yay, don't bully Alan. You're mean. A Norman reading list, yeah. Don't reads. That's cute. Can't help but grab the collectibles. I already missed a bunch of them. Right. We go through the subway car to the collapsed tunnel. Right now it's missing FBI agent. But now we've got so many new styles to try. Tree.
Tree of the torchbearers painted the tree there. The tree of knowledge. The tree of life with its roots reaching down to hell. It could have been a Christmas tree for all the good it did him.
Cult of the Tree. Cult of the Tree. Yeah, it's kind of an Idrisil. Yeah. You'll notice that there's this tunnel here that we're trying to get through. That's kind of our objective right now. We're trying to get through a tunnel underneath a tree, the same as Saga. Right? Saga's also trying to get through an overlap, a passageway, a portal in the tree. It's pronounced Yggdrasil. Sorry.
I was making my way deeper into the story. I could imagine this murder cult performing their macabre acts beyond the collapsed tunnel. The cultists laid the Casey novel onto the altar with reverence. Their twisted Bible.
Imagine making your entire cult out of the kind of crime novel you'd pick up at an airport. Like, I don't know if I would describe Alan's books as holy. They're more duty-free. Just saying. Oh no! Fuck! More like a dork presence. Got him! Fucking eat shit! Yeah! Yeah! Not so big now. Yeah, I don't like light bulbs. Not a fan of light bulbs, that guy.
I couldn't hear the dark presence. It was gone.
This one silly trick, the dark presence hates it. Heavily bass boosted, yo. Well, subway car's gone. So I think we can just walk over it now.
The tunnel was open now. I could get through.
Yay! Dayman. Ah! Fighter of the night, man.
The dark presence. I had seen it before. I remembered now. It was always out there, hunting me.
The dark presence is just the combined ego of basement dweller redditors. It is quite toxic. So in Ellen's section of the overlap, we do wind up seeing the flooded woods around Cauldron Lake.
I had found the murder site. Somehow the victim's heart was the key. Something had shifted. I felt an overwhelming closeness to home.
So, usually when you see that little flash with the static, that means something specific. We saw the same thing when Alan appeared on the beach. I think that the game is setting up the idea that because Alan found the heart here in the dark place, that transported it to where it needed to be, right? If Alan hadn't have found this heart, it wouldn't have been inside the icebox, and then Saga wouldn't have been able to get through the overlap. Because that was a thing she needed, right? So it's set up that what Alan's doing is going through these environments and collecting items that Saga's going to need. What's a complicating factor to this is that the pages that describe what's needed for the ritual are written by Alan. The same way that Saga's being written into the story, the edits are also adding bits of the ritual and instructions on what to do and how to get into the overlap, right? So whoever's doing those edits is the one who's determining what's needed, and they're decidedly things that exist in the dark place and are being transported into the real world. That said, what's actually transporting them is kind of an open question. Did this heart disappear from here and wind up in the icebox because Alan found it? Or is it because this is the part of the story when Saga filled out the correct narrative in the yarn board? And I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's probably a little more of the latter. Trying to course everything down a specific route. Yeah. Scratch might be the editor, changing Alan's work for his own ends. That certainly seems to be the implication. Yep. That's what's implied in the story at this point. Because he's the one who's scratching out Alan's name. I also think it's interesting that the first boss of the game is Nightingale. And he shows up on the beach, is taken to the morgue, becomes a taken, and then his body gets up and starts walking around and killing people. But then after Saga puts him down, he disappears. After that boss fight, Nightingale's body is gone. And I think that's because it's here. This is Nightingale's real body. He was pulled into the dark place, made a part of this story, and this is where Nightingale actually died. What came out of the lake is what happened after. Well, not after, but he was down in the dark place here, written into this story, and then the lake expelled him. He has his heart cut out, and then returns to the lake, quote unquote, after, yeah. Because this body also has its heart cut out, Which, that said, no, I take that back. I think he died here in the lake because what came out of the lake was not a nightingale anymore. I don't think it was alive when it came out of the lake. Saga's information says that the wound on the chest, like the heart, is post-mortem, and that the bloating of the body indicates more than 2 weeks, I believe. So no. Yeah. No. Okay. I think he died here in this point in the story. And then the taken version of him came out of the lake. I think that's the case.
An FBI agent? Who are you?
What is this? Who are you?
She can hear me.
I'm Saga Anderson, FBI.
This is Alan Wake. I'm trapped here. The dark place. Under Cauldron Lake.
Cauldron Lake? Who are you?
I'm trying to escape. I'm making progress, but I'm in danger. The Dark Presence. Help me. Please, help me. I could sense it. I was closer to home. Had the woman in the vision helped me somehow? Something had changed. Outside. Parliament Tower. Where I'd lived with Alice. It was out there. Waiting for me.
Alice mentioned. I think the corpse is his corpse, but the presence can't do as much with a dead thing as a living one. Dead things are the ends of stories or props, not characters. That's true. That's true. There are other characters whose corpses we will find in the dark place, and who are other boss fights. Nightingale is the first, but he will not be the last. Strangely, they all wind up being characters who were in Alan Wake 1.
What are you looking at? Is it your face on a pane of glass? 'Cause somehow this window becomes a trap on this winding road. Will it ever let me go? Forever I am fading to black. Forever I am circling back, just to fall into this trap. This winding road.
When I played Alan Wake 2, I was a little disappointed Alan only got one chapter song, but I really like what they do with it. Yeah. It's not always the same. There's something compelling about someone calling for help through this barrier or this distance that makes communication feel impossible. Someone calling for help to this person who may not even be a fictional character. Yeah. I think Alan knows that Saga can't be fictional because she's not something that he wrote into the story yet. Interesting, Zog. Huh. Yeah, he also felt closer to home. What I think is interesting about that is that we get to see both sides of that conversation. The one that Saga had and the one that Alan had, and we get to kind of tell which words have been cut out of each conversation in order to sort of steer it, if that makes sense. In this first conversation, it's both characters just being a little vaguer when certain things are missing. That said, later on this will not be the case, and something interesting is going to happen with the order that they're presented in that makes it even more confusing. Because the next conversation that Saga... okay, we'll get there. It's when the audience knows and the characters don't. I know, right? It'll be great. Anyway, I think I'm going to take a break here. My voice is getting a little crackly, and the Bunalysis tends to take it out of me a little bit faster